Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. Today we're back with the Empire, Balthasar Geld, looking for redemption against the Dark Elves. So let's go ahead and jump to the army composition. Of course, Balthasar Geld here. In terms of his spell loadout, we've got Searing Doom and Plague of Rust, just the nice two cheap spells, trying to proc that metal shifting as much as possible. In terms of the rest of the army, we've got this Templehof Luminarch here. Figure it'd be good at sniping out high value targets. Front line is going to be a mix of State Troop Spearmen. We've also got the Sigmar Sons and the Tattersouls, a regiment of renowned flagellants. Actually, not the biggest fan of flagellants normally, but the regiment of renown has more unit models. They have a full 120 unit models, so they can definitely get some good work done in the right situation. We've also got 3 units of Pistoliers to act as a mobile skirmish force, and a couple of Reichsguard, and one more Reichsguard hidden in the forest over on the far side. For my opponent, he's gone with a double Hydra build, which you don't get to see too often. So we've got the Chill of Sontar and another Hydra here. Front line is going to be a mix of Bleak Swords and Black Ark Corsairs. You can see that Luminarch's already popping off shots against the Chill of Sontar here, which should do some nice damage. Solid contact there. A couple of Dread Spears, or actually a Dread Spear and Blackguard of Nagaron at the back. He's got a Supreme Sorceress Lore of Beasts for his general here. She's just on a horse. She's got Wisdom's Wild Form, Flock of Doom, and Curse of Andrahair. Very interesting stuff. I'd imagine that in this form she's quite cheap. He's also got a Death Hag up on the Cauldron here. She's got the Chill Blade, Fury of Cain, Foe Seeker, and Witch Brood. So all the goodies. Couple of Harpies, and that about rounds things out. So let's get the battle underway. We can watch things unfold. So yeah, I'm going to be doing some skirmishing, obviously. My opponent, realizing that I've got artillery advantage, is going to have to advance here. The Pistoliers pulling up in a range, doing some nice skirmishing, getting some damage done on this Hydra. Of course, it will probably be able to regenerate most of that damage away. But the idea here is that we're poking away at its healing cap. Fire Breath comes down, does a little bit of damage there to those Pistoliers, but honestly not much. And the Harpies are going to come down. I'm going to use these Reichsguard who are in the forest nearby to see them off in short order. So we've been able to deal with one of the mobile units for my opponent. Now we've only got this one unit of Harpies left. The Zintler's Reichsguard going to overrun a little bit here. Ooh, I thought they were maybe going to go into those Dread Spears, but it looks like they're going to pull back here, allow the Pistoliers to get back in here and start to do some skirmishing. Meanwhile, up on top, the Harpies have come down just to silence the Templehof Luminarch momentarily. We're going to bring in the Tattersouls and some other units to help deal with them. Yeah, the front line engagement is fast approaching. Now, my opponent unfortunately doesn't have any Sisters of Slaughter or Doomfire Warlocks, which the Searing Doom would be very good against. But we can definitely use that Plague of Rust, and looks like Accusation going down, and the Net of Amantok from the Regiment of Renown there. This Witch Hunter is going to get mixed up in the frontline combat a little bit. Reichsguard pushing through, just face charging these Bleak Swords, obviously, since there's no anti-large units around. Very nice Flock of Doom coming down from my opponent, though, sapping away the health of these Reichsguard and the Spearmen. Unfortunately, his Dread Spear front line is getting crumbled pretty hard by the overwhelming Reichsguard. This Death Hag's kind of maneuvering around in the back line, not really helping out in the frontline engagement like she probably needs to be, but he is very aggressively pursuing that Templehof, understandably. Meanwhile, over on this side, this Hydra's gotten into combat, and although it is facing Spearmen, it should be able to clean them out without too much issues. The Flagellants are actually doing quite well in the front line. They're going to start mixing it up with these Blackguard of Nagaron. And especially if I were to hit those Blackguard of Nagaron with like an Overcast Plague of Rust, those Tattersouls would actually probably do quite well in that situation. But looks like Searing Doom coming down right on top of these Dread Spears and Black Ark Corsairs. Obviously, I'm not the most high value units, but I need to generate some kind of value here with Balthasar. Meanwhile, these Black Ark Corsairs pushing through in the back line. The Templehof still trying to secure itself. The Zintler's Reichsguard, or sorry, the regular Reichsguard have come back to help. Ooh, looks like Frost Breath going down on them from the Chill of Sontar there. This this Witch Hunter's just kind of standing here, popping off shots at it. We'll be able to do some solid damage over time. And yeah, at this point, we should actually be able to win the frontline engagement. My opponent dropping a really nice Flock of Doom there. But, ooh, here comes the Death Hag to help the front line engagement, and this could potentially swing things back. Obviously, that -9 melee attack, area of effect, going to be very, very good, and the Terror, of course, in a rear charge situation, so that's rough. However, we have just about finished off those guys in the back line. Temple Hop Luminarch actually just shoots straight into the hill because of its line of sight issues, so that's been unfortunate, but another net dropped on the Chill of Sontar there just to kind of hold it in place. If we can win the infantry engagement, then we should be able to isolate the Hydras and deal with them. Likewise, the Supreme Sorceress has taken quite a bit of damage, so we might dispatch a unit of Reiksguard to deal with them. Another Searing Doom going down right around this Hydra, just trying to deal with what's left of the Dark Elf infantry here. Sigmar's Sons, of course, being unbreakable, are happy to fight in here. Looks like Curse of Honorary being dropped to debuff their stats there. Fortunately, the Reiksguard getting routed off there, but we still have plenty of Pistoliers support in the back line. The Pistoliers are going to pull up in range and just unload into this Chill of Sontar here. And the Hydras don't have that much armor at the end of the day, so Pistoliers are actually a pretty good choice for taking them out. Only 50 armor. They do have a bit of missile resistance, but you can see those Pistoliers, their damage over time is just adding up quite a bit on that Chill of Sontar. Most of the Dark Elf infantry is gone at this point. It's pretty much just the 2 Hydras and the Supreme Sorceress. A few Black Guards still hanging around as well, but at this point, I'm feeling pretty confident we can finish things off. Balthasar is going to come down, drop an Overcast Plague of Rust on this Death Hag, and try and finish her off himself. And with his charge bonus, he's actually got a 70 charge bonus on that Pegasus. So keep that in mind, guys, that if you need to charge Balthasar down, especially if he's up on his Pegasus, he can actually do a pretty solid amount of damage, at least while that charge bonus is active. But yeah, going to be seeing that Death Hag off. At this point, it's just the Hydras, like I was saying. The Supreme Sorceress also still fighting here. But yeah, Reiksguard are just moving around in the back lines, making sure that a lot of these routing units don't come back to the fight. You can see the bounce power slightly in my favor at this point. This Hydra is going to try and get into the Pistoliers, obviously, but the Pistoliers, true MVPs at this point, have used up most of their ammo shooting at these Hydras, and yeah, at this point, we're just going to try and force a favorable engagement. So let's fast forward through a little bit of this late game here, because there's kind of some positioning. Pistoliers are out of ammo. We do still have the Temple Hop Luminarch, though, so we're going to drop a net here, and then hopefully pop off a shot in this Hydra. Ooh, straight on. And of course, Hydras are weak to fire damage, and for one of you who was asking, I think it was Atticus, the way fire damage works, it doesn't necessarily interrupt regeneration like it does in Tabletop. That is a mechanic in the Tabletop. However, in Total War Warhammer, it's just a flat 25% damage increase rather than actually interrupting the regeneration. So basically, any damage done to a unit with weakness to fire will be increased by that percentage amount. It's just a flat percentage amount, but oh man, that Dragon Breath actually destroying the Temple Hop Luminarch there. Not even destroying it, straight up vaporizing it. Wow, that's some powerful breath there. But that is going to tip the balance of power back a little bit, but at this point, the Hydra's leadership is low enough. We're able to break that Hydra without too much issue. A lot of my forces are coming back, so we should be able to break off the Chill of Sontar as well. You can see very nice block of Doom from my opponent, but he's relatively healthy. Zintler's Reiksguard going to get in here, do a nice rear charge on the Chill of Sontar. This Witch Hunter's still around, kind of mixing it up, trying to pop off shots. So yeah, at this point, should be able to see things off. That other Hydra, still routed, does get the too horrible to die, or sorry, many-headed Hydra, or whatever it's called for the Hydras. But yeah, another Overcast Plague of Rust on the Chill of Sontar, just to bring it down to 0 armor, so that all these attacks are making full contact. And yeah, you can see the Pistoliers in here, Zintler's Reiksguard, everybody just trying to take down this Chill of Sontar, because once that breaks, we should be able to finish things off. The Pistoliers still chasing off the War Hydra there, who has regenerated quite a bit, but just due to leadership, it's going to be broken. Chill of Sontar gets broken with the Plague of Rust, allowing a lot more damage to be put down on it. Even Balthasar himself coming down, mixing it up. The Chill of Sontar actually goes down, and with that, most of the Dark Elf remaining forces are going to rout. It's actually just the Supreme Sorceress at this point still fighting, so she's going to get surrounded by Reiksguard, and she's a pretty squishy character, so at the end of the day, she won't be able to take this And it is going to be victory for the Empire and redemption for Balthasar Gelt. I know he wasn't fighting against Marathi this time, but hey, he'll take a victory against the Dark Elves in any form. So well played to my opponent. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Super fun battle. The Reichsguard really carried the day there in terms of helping me win the infantry fight. Also quite pleased with how those Tattersouls did. I've been bringing them in a handful of matchups recently, and they definitely seem to be pretty decent, much more so than the regular Flagellants, just due to their extra unit models. They last a bit longer, they can put out more damage. Yeah, obviously the Reichsguard, 92, 47, 167 on those Zintler's Reichsguards. Absolutely incredible. The Pistoliers also did some nice work as well, helping to poke away at the Hydras, just doing some nice skirmishing. Templehof Luminarch did get some shots in at the Hydras. It was more of a distraction mechanic for my opponent, though, distracting that Death Hag and the Hydras from helping out in that frontline engagement more, which they probably should have done. But Witch Hunter, 55 kills, doing pretty solidly himself. For my opponent, one of the Hydras, 98, able to get an XP Chevron. Chill Centaur definitely didn't pay out, though, and his frontline infantry just got mashed on by the Reichsguard, which was pretty rough. The Harpies also were thrown in probably a little bit prematurely and didn't get to tie down the units like they probably were hoping to, but overall, very fun battle. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thank you once again for watching, and we'll see you next time.